And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
He's already rooting for himself because he's the only person that will root for him. And it is the Weighing In podcast with me, John McCarthy, my man, the Punk, Josh Thompson, who is always...
Yeah,
but
flexing. Always flexing.
Always flexing, baby. Always flexing. And we got a lot to talk about. We have a big fight coming up this week. Khamzat Chimaev against the man, the myth, the legend, Nate Diaz. You got to say no more. There's all kinds of things going on outside of the UFC also that we're going to talk about. All kinds of good stuff. Little hot where you're at, huh?
Yeah, you said... Let's talk about things outside of the fight game. Well, guess what? Outside here in Northern California is 118 degrees. Oh, my God. I went today outside, and I was regretting it. As you guys can tell, my face is a little crispy right now.
Little pink.
I was only out there for about an hour, just trying to figure out life. I was questioning myself, like, what am I out here for? Why am I doing this? But it is extremely hot here, John. This is obviously record highs, apparently is what they're trying to say. But yesterday, it was 109. And then on Sunday, it was 114. And it's been torture since Thursday of last week. I mean, I wasn't here. I was in Tahoe, so it was a little bit cooler. But I was looking at the weather report as I was up there in Tahoe in 89-degree weather, just loving it. The brisk breeze coming through, playing some golf at 7:30 in the morning, drinking a little bit of whiskey and having a great time. Yeah, it's been as hot as hell since I've been home though. It was so hot yesterday and then all day today it's been extremely hot. Tomorrow's supposed to cool down back into the 98s, they said. Yep. We'll see though. We will see. But John, there's
Josh,
a lot.
You're going to hate me for doing this live in the air, but just make sure that your headphones are turned down ever so slightly because I don't want any echo coming through.
You shut your freaking mouth right now, okay? You guys, I'm going to tell you this little story right now. I'm going to tell you this little story about how Podcast Dave decided that he was going to try not to film with us tonight. So he was like, wanted the night off, decided to go and lay down in bed and melt into his bed. I don't have to explain what that means to some of you guys. He's all took a gummy. And he decided he didn't want to film. Then he's like, then he tried to give us some lame ass excuse. Oh, my internet doesn't work. Da 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 da. And then all of a sudden he realized that Gian couldn't hold up his end of the deal. So he decided to pop back on. We're going to see how he performs.
Such a lie.
We're going to see how he performs.
I don't know. He's wearing a nice cowboy hat. I give him that, man. He goes to Texas, puts the cowboy hat on.
Nobody.
Come on, baby. Little urban cowboy with the man from Scotland.
His internet doesn't work, John, or it wasn't working. Let's not be that town has a bunch of lazy people over there.
Look at that hat.
Don't mess with a cowboy, you know.
Very nice. Very nice, Dave. That's a good looking hat. All right, but what kind is it? What's the brand?
I don't even know.
He doesn't know. He got it at the fucking carnival. What are you talking about?
Stetson.
Stetson, all right. It's a Stetson. It's a good hat.
Yeah, didn't there used to be a cologne that was called that, Stetson? There was a cologne called Stetson. Dave, pull that up, buddy. Dave, come on. Let's go, generic Jamie. Come on, pull that up.
Generic Jamie.
Let's go. There used to be a cologne called Stetson. There it is. There it is.
Looks like cowboy cologne as well.
It is cowboy cologne. That's funny. Well, you would think cowboy hat named Stetson, cologne named Stetson, kind of all makes sense, right, Dave?
Now I just need to start smelling like a cowboy too then.
No, you probably do. Stinky ass.
Cow pies.
Cow pies. Oh, man.
I can give you all of that you want, man. You just tell me. I'll send a box.
This guy, he's out there mowing the lawn. I mean, how is it hot over there with you right now?
It's about 90, but it's humid.
Yeah, it is humid.
So it feels like about 100.
Miss McCarthy got you out there doing slave labor again.
Dude,
I'm telling you.
You have no idea, okay? People, when we talk about mowing a lawn, okay? I'm not mowing lawns.
No.
Okay? I'm mowing a property, so I was on that mower at about 8:30 this morning, and I got off of it at dark at about 8:30 tonight. 12 hours. The only time I stopped was to refuel that sumbitch, and it goes 10. Dude, that's a fast one. And you got to figure, I got so much fucking to do. It takes all day long.
That's horrible.
All day. Yeah.
Like, it sounds like fun to own the property. But
it
doesn't
is,
sound like,
but
it
it's
doesn't
work.
sound like fun to do that.
No, it's work.
Oh, man. I'm
It's
rethinking my life choices here pretty soon. I was thinking, I want to get a couple acres. Yeah, not sounding like that, John. You're talking me out of it right
Talking
now.
you out of it
As
quickly.
we're having this conversation, you're talking me out of it.
Yep.
Look, there's a lot going on this weekend.
There is. There's a
How
whole lot
ex-
of good stuff.
How excited are you about this fight that's coming up between Chimaev and Nate Diaz? I'm torn. I'm going to be honest. I'm torn.
I agree with you. I'm about the same. I look at it and I don't like the matchup. I'm being honest. I don't like it based upon I know what they're doing, and it's slimy.
Mm-hmm.
It's slimy, but and I hate they're not the only ones that do it.
No.
It's promotions and promoters. They do that, and they have someone that they know wants to leave. So I don't want you to go out with a win against one of my guys. I want you to go out with a loss against one of my guys, and because that makes my guy look better and it makes you less valuable. So it's a good reason for you to leave. I just look at it, man. It's like, I guess it's business. I don't like that part of the business. I've always said, there's things about, fighting. There's a lot of, grimy stuff that goes on in the fight game. And this is one of these things right here. I just, if you look at it reasonably, Josh, how much, it's a give and take. I'm going to go both ways. The UFC has done a lot for Nate. They have. Okay. He went on The Ultimate Fighter. He built his name up through that, really, because of his brother also. Built his name up, would fight anybody. But how much money? Because in the end, if you recall back a while, Dana at one time said he doesn't move the needle. Okay. Well, he did,
No, I know.
Okay. Well, let's be honest. Is Dana always right? According to some people, yes. Well, no one is. None of us are always right. But he said and then finally he looked and said, after a certain fight, he goes, yeah, he's a needle mover because he has all of that information coming. How much money has this guy helped make the UFC? It's the one thing I look at. I was looking at Georges St-Pierre there in Paris. And, just thinking about it, and I don't give George enough credit all the time because I just don't think of him anymore because he's gone now. He's 41 years of age. He's still in an incredible shape. But I look at him and it's like, man, how much did you do for the UFC? He really did. You think about how much did he do? And I look at Nate Diaz and I go, how much has he done to help build that promotion? And this is the send-off. It's just not good.
Nate Diaz has made them, I would say, probably in the estimation of about $1 billion.
Yeah, close. I would say
just Nate Diaz.
I would say, look, I'm being somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion based upon his fights.
That's insane, John.
It is
absolutely fucking insane.
So and this is why I say, you look and you go, I understand. I understand the whole, we want, we don't, if you want to leave, I want to use your name to build somebody else. Okay. I understand the whole thing. It's just not, I hate it. Can't stand that part of it.
Yeah. I would like to see guys like him get a proper send off.
Yes.
It was. I guess you brought up GSP. GSP did it himself. He left on his own.
Yep.
After the Hendricks fight, was it correct, Hendricks? And then he came back like dangling a carrot, saying, "Hey, I'll come back if I'll fight Bisping." He kind of, he knew what he was doing. And then
he knew what he was doing.
After he beat Bisping, he just ran along. Smart tactics by him. I think he definitely understood the game in which the UFC likes to play.
Yeah.
And then they would have tried to get a beat by somebody, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll just retire with the two belts.
Yep,
I'm good."
But have you guys thought about a potential of Dana's master plan here? Because everybody's saying that Khamzat's the next guy for the title. So what if Dana's master plan is to give Nate the opportunity of a lifetime against Khamzat, where when he wins against Khamzat, he gets the next title shot because it automatically brings him back right to the number 1 spot. Dana gets to re-sign him and Nate gets his title shot.
Here's the thing. Look, I love, and despite what anyone may think, I fucking love Nate Diaz. I love everything about him. I love the way he fucking fights. I love him and his brother, the way they have each other's backs. His boys, Gilbert and Jake. I love their whole crew, that scrap pack.
Yep.
I love everything about them. They are fucking great people. All of them. Nick, Nate, Jake Shields, Gilbert, Gilbert's wife. All the ones that I know are fucking fantastic people. From the bottom to the top. All of them are great people, great training partners, great people all the way around. I hate to see him be treated this way on the way out, knowing that, like we just said, he's made them, I would say I say closer to $1 billion versus the 500 in the middle there. I think it's more closer to $1 billion.
I would say somewhere in between there. Yeah.
Yeah. And they know what they're doing. I get what they're doing, but I think when there's certain fighters, you got to let them that have given so much. If he's lost, he's gone out on his shield. And when he hasn't lost, he's upset and had some of the most historic fights. The Conor McGregor fight, the first one, taking on short notice, all of those things.
10 days.
Fucking insane.
10 days.
Insane how he fucking did. Like, John, I was like, oh, Conor's going to touch him because, no.
See, I'm being honest. Back then, I said, that might be a mistake, man. I said, if Conor doesn't get rid of him fast, which is not an easy thing to do because it's really only been done once. I'm not going to talk about that, but look, that's not an easy fight. And if there was one thing that we saw out of Conor was that he does tend to run out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be up at 170 because Nate, coming in last minute said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that weight. They put it at 170. Okay. And if you don't get rid of him fast, first off, you've got to knock him out. He's only been knocked out one time. Okay. And so I looked at it and I go, man, I'll tell you what, if this thing goes anywhere past 4 minutes, start to look, Nate Diaz is going to win this sucker.
Wow. I didn't think that. I honestly thought the speed of Conor, I thought the way he likes to pot shot and circle, I thought he would have done that. He decided to stand and trade. He got into a slugfest with somebody that has a fucking granite chin. Look, let's be honest. John, there's no damn way I was going to ever do any damage to him punching him in the face.
No.
It had to have been done by the foot, or by my shin, basically.
Yeah.
Heavy
objects.
Yeah. Dropping him is one thing. Finishing him is another. And, it's like sitting him down to his butt. He's been dropped so many times, but he hits the ground and says, come on down to the ground. Let's get some work in. There's that. And then if you don't go down to the ground, you have him stand back up. He's okay with just getting his breath and coming after you again. He has been prepared, one of the most prepared fighters ever in the history of the UFC or in fighting, period. He comes in always ready to fight. He's always training. What the takeaway that I have right now is that they're doing him dirty. And they're sending them out the way that they normally send out people that haven't given this much to the UFC, which is sad. That's one. Two is, if you go back in history and watch who he's fought at the 170-pound division outside of Conor, guys like Rory McDonald flung him around. They just tossed him around left and right.
I did that fight.
Khamzat
Chimaev 3 suplexes in a row.
Khamzat Chimaev is a different animal, not just in the wrestling, but the size. All of those things will be a big factor when it comes to this fight. He is going to ragdoll Nate. Nate is not strong, and this is not a knock on Nate. Just he's not a strong fighter. He's not a fast fighter. He's got a good chin. He's got a lot of output, and he's a fucking gamer. That's one thing about him is he's a dog.
But you will see Chimaev wrestling. You're going to see him going in for the takedown, and he's going to say, "I'll work with you on the ground." Where it's, if you're looking, you say, "Yeah, he's dangerous on the ground," but he's going to be more dangerous to Chimaev on his feet, in my estimation, than he is on the ground.
Yeah, and he won't be dangerous on the feet really until probably the middle of the third, maybe the fourth and the fifth round.
Yeah.
And here, the thing is, John, here's my other thing. When you're that much bigger and like size-wise, and you have the pedigree of wrestling, the Nick Diaz brothers in the history of their fighting careers, they've always struggled against good wrestlers because they can be controlled. They're not strong, so they're able to be controlled. The sit-up and posture, the ground and pound, all of those things, they're available to be hit on the ground. They just can't get a hold of your neck, whether it's a guillotine or rear naked. I've done a grappling match against Nate like years before we had fought, and then I fought him. You gotta stay away. Had I not done that grappling match with him, I probably would have went to the ground a lot more with him. But I understood how damn quick and how tight his guillotine got in that first that grappling match. He's got me in probably 3 or 4 guillotines that I had to wiggle my way out of, and they were fucking close. Yep. And so Chimaev's got to be careful leaving his neck in there, but the strength is going to play a factor on him being able to finish it. Nate being long and lanky and all of those things, and that wiry strength that he kind of has on the guillotines and the rear nakeds, they're there to be had. It's just going to be a very tough task for him to get done. It's going to be a big uphill battle for him. And I would love to see him. I would fucking love it. I would love to see him go out with a fucking win, a submission win, or peppering him and just making him so tired. Because we saw in the Gilbert Burns fight that he put so much energy out in the first 2 rounds. He was exhausted. He was exhausted.
Look at this is the one thing is, and it's the one thing I look at as a plus in this fight for Nate. It's 5 rounds.
Yeah,
this is a 5-round fight. Chimaev has not gone the 5 rounds. Chimaev, the only time he's ever gone past the 2nd round was against Gilbert Burns. Mm-hmm. That's the only fight that he's ever gone past the 2nd round.
But Gilbert Burns is a faster fighter than Nate Diaz. Gilbert
No
Burns
doubt
is
about
a stronger fighter than Nate Diaz.
No doubt about that.
Gilbert Burns is a better grappler. Is a better grappler also.
Yeah,
in a different way. In a different way.
Exactly.
It's a different
okay,
style.
I'll give it. If you're going to say in a gi, he's the better grappler. No doubt about it. Without the gi, Nate's going to be just fine with him. And so I look at it and say it's pretty even as far as MMA. It's pretty even with the gloves and everything. I would say that's close to a wash. I understand why you would pick Gilbert a little bit over him and stuff. And he definitely has the credentials behind him. But if you take a look at if Chimaev does some of the things that he does in the past, and he swings really hard, and he grapples by all these big lifts, and the big lifts look great, but they do burn energy. You know that. I go for a suplex. There's a lot of energy being burnt in that maneuver, and me getting my hips in, the way my legs have to extend, all of the fucking squeeze and everything. That's a lot of energy right there going out. What's it going to do? Is it going to hurt Nate? Maybe, maybe not. He's never been hurt by one before, and he has taken him, just like you're saying with Rory McDonald, multiple times in the fight. You do that kind of output and you don't get rid of him.
Yeah. Stand
by for round 4 and 5.
Yeah, Nate can't afford to be patient in those rounds 4 and 5, because if he loses rounds 1, 2, and 3, he's gonna have to really fight from behind and really push the pace. He's got to be.
Well, I look at it. I think Nate needs to look at pushing the pace.
Yeah.
For the entire fight.
Yeah.
One of his ways, and because look, Chimaev is in good shape, and Chimaev can go. But if there's one thing you want to look at, you're looking at a guy who has 11 professional fights in Chimaev going against a guy that has over 30 in Nate. That's a big experience difference. And that's a big, look at Chimaev has not been in the biggest fights yet. Nate has.
Yeah.
Nate has been in the biggest fights. He's been that guy, that all the attention is on and all the pressure's on. He's been there. He's done that. Chimaev is not. This is as big a fight as he's ever had. You could look and say that Gilbert Burns was a big fight, and it was, but it's not as big as this one. It wasn't the main event.
And we're not taking anything away from Gilbert Burns.
No, it has nothing to do with Gilbert. This is just, this is a main event fight on a pay-per-view card also.
Yeah.
This is big.
This is huge. But Dave, can you pull up Nate Diaz's comments? He did an interview. I can't remember who it was with. I think it was MMA Junkie.
Yeah, it was. I'll get it up right now.
Yeah, and he went off on the UFC, he went off on, Dana, and they're trying to make it out to that I wanted this fight. I didn't ask for this fight. I didn't want this fight. And so he went on and just basically laid it all out. Look, Nate Diaz is not someone to really beat around the bush. He doesn't like to eat around the tush. He just goes right for it. So he just came out and said the truth. And look, this is what happened when they tried to tell him that he had popped for something. He's like, fuck you guys. I'm not fucking fighting then. These are the type of things he goes ahead and he tells the truth. Whether you want to hear the truth or not, it's up to you guys. He says, I'm the champion of the whole UFC altogether. Look, let's be honest. The guy's a big-time needle mover compared to almost everyone else on this roster. Give me somebody else on the roster right now that moves the needle as much as him outside of Conor McGregor.
That's it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's Conor McGregor.
They don't have a champion that moves the needle like Nate Diaz.
No, they don't.
And Masvidal is not the same either. He doesn't. I love Masvidal, but he does not move the needle like Nate Diaz either.
No.
He does well. Don't get me wrong. He does good numbers, but he doesn't move it like him. So there's not another person in the UFC. So when he's saying I'm the champion of the whole fucking UFC altogether, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. Look, when the Dana White is thinking, how do I judge my champions, or how do I judge? He's thinking, which one puts the most money in my pocket?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz.
As far as guys that are fighting right now.
Yes, the current ones. Yes.
Yeah.
The current one. He's the one that puts the most money in the pocket. It says, I don't give a fuck. What they got me doing right now is they're acting like I called for this fight, which I didn't call for, and I didn't want, and I still don't fucking want it, but I don't give a fuck. I'll fight anybody. History has shown he'll fight fucking anybody. Doesn't care. He'll step up. You offer him the fight, he'll take it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's times like, why the fuck you guys want me to fight that lame guy? And that's happened to almost every single fighter. They've tried to get somebody young and up and coming, to fight him probably. He's been like, yeah, I ain't fighting that fucking loser. It's like, why am I going to fight fucking some guy who's number 15 when I'm
Did he have to be a loser?
Man.
But Josh, Khamzat's ranked in the top 5 and Nate's not even ranked. So, and then Nate also contradicts himself there by saying he doesn't want the fight, but he'll fight anybody. So how can
look,
you
not
defend
wanting
that?
the fight because
hold on.
No, I can defend
Dave,
this
real quick, let me ask a question. He says he doesn't want the fight, but is he fighting him?
Yeah, he says he doesn't want it, but I'll fight anybody. But so then it's like
so obvious. Hold on. Obviously, he will.
Yeah,
he doesn't want that fight, but he'll fight him. So he's being honest. I'll fight anybody. You don't get that?
He just vindicated or validated what he said.
Yeah.
He just said, look, I don't want this fight. This is not the fight that I asked for.
But I'll fight anybody.
I'll fight anybody, so I'm taking the fight.
Yeah.
He just validated what he said.
Don't.
It must be that Scottish education.
No, I'm serious. You're saying that, and I can see where a lot of people say that, but it's.
But this should be an exciting fight, is all I'm saying. Because for him, this should be an exciting fight. Because if Khamzat is next up for the title, and Dana's giving you the opportunity of a lifetime to fight the guy that's next up for the title,
do you think Dana's giving him the opportunity of a lifetime? Is that what you? No. Do you think? Do you seriously? Do you seriously think that Dana's sitting there going, you know what? I'm going to give Nate the opportunity of a lifetime. That's what I'm doing.
I think Dana has a master plan that he's giving Nate the chance of a lifetime to win a number 1 contender fight, get the title shot so that Dana can re-sign him, Nate can get his title shot, and everybody wins. And
you think that Nate is going to, if Nate wins this fight, you think that he's going to re-sign with the UFC?
No. That's on Nate, though.
No. I asked you a simple question because you're the one saying it, so I'm curious as far as your opinion. Do you think that if Nate wins this fight that he's going to re-sign with the UFC?
Maybe if the money is right.
Not maybe. I said, do you think? Yes or no?
I think depending on the outcome of the fight. I think if it's depending on the sales of the pay-per-view as well. So like if the pay-per-view sells well and Nate wins a fight, Dana would probably offer him more money to re-sign a fight, and maybe Nate wants a 4-fight deal instead of an 8-fight deal like he said he got last time. So maybe that's negotiated. But yeah, I think he could re-sign. Yes, if he wins this fight and he's offered a title fight.
I don't think there's any way he re-signs. I don't think there's any way. I mean, Dana White would have to lay out a big time paycheck in front of him, and he's not going to do that for a fighter who is 36 years old. I think he's 36.
He just turned 37, I think.
Yeah, 37. So he's not going to do that. in the history has shown when fighters are that age, the UFC starts getting rid of you. Yeah, so they're like, look, it was great while it lasted. It's time to move on, but I'm not going to invest a ton of money into a fighter who's 37 years old. They're not going to do it. And it's been proven time and time again. So I think that they're looking at Chimaev being the next guy, like Nate had said. They're saying that he's the next killer in town. I was the killer for the longest time. Now this guy's the next killer. It's like, well, we're going to find out. He is... Nate Diaz, I don't think re-signs with them because they're not going to offer him a ton of money. They are getting their bread buttered by the ESPN deal, and sure, they're doing better every single time. ESPN's doing a great job promoting them, working their deals with them. They're doing a fantastic. The Venom deal just got redone. I believe the shoe company from The Rock also just got redone or just got done. Yeah. So that whole deal is done as well. They've got revenue coming in left and right. They're not concerned. They're not worried about one fighter. And I think that's when their promotion took a turn in terms of profitability, is when they stopped caring so much about one or two fighters and started caring more about the sponsorships and the endorsement deals that they were making to line their pockets. They marketed the UFC around the UFC and Dana White because they knew that the UFC name wasn't going to go anywhere, and they knew that Dana White wasn't going to go anywhere. So those are the two things they could control, and that's all they marketed around. This is not like, look, I can keep continuing to go on, but Nate Diaz also said that he's starting his own fight promotion. What's it called? Like Real Fighter Inc.
Yep.
Did you find that?
Yeah. Hold on, I'll pull it up for you right now.
I mean, John, look, the fight business is a hard business to get into. You know that.
It's nasty.
We've had these conversations. I've sat down with Javier Mendez. I've sat down with Scott Coker. I had thought about starting my own promotion at one time. And Scott Coker sat me down and goes, look, if you start your own promotion, I could squash your promotion. You'd be out of money and been out of business. He's like, or you could fight for me and I'll pay you a lot of money and fight for my promotion. And I was like, you know what? Sounds like a good idea. I think I'll go fight for you. That's a great idea. But it was one of those, after sitting down and just talking to him about what it takes to turn the lights on in some of these arenas and some of these, even the small little hole in the wall arenas. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It's like, wait, where's the rest of the money going? Like, how am I going to make the rest of this money? So Nate Diaz to launch his new Real Fighter Inc. promotion. Good for him, man. I love the fact that he's looking for those fighters that are down and game to throw down. And he's got a whole slew of them that trains up at his place in Lodi. At his gym, him and his brother's gym. Man, they are doing the whole thing right. I want to know, how much money do you think he's made over his tenure there at the UFC? In the 10 to 15 million?
Yeah, he's made over 10 million.
That's good for him, man.
It is good for him.
I'm happy.
It's the one thing when you look, and it's both brothers have been big names. Nate's actually in the end was, the bigger name. He had the bigger fights. Now, Nick had the fight with Anderson Silva, but then he was gone for so many years after that, 5 years basically. And it's weird when you look at it, all the people they've fought, everything, but money wise, there's no doubt Nate has made way more money than Nick has.
Yeah. Different era, John.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. Like Dave, podcast Dave and I have talked about this. The era has been so much different because social media didn't really fully explode until just as of recently in the last, say, 5 years. Sure, it'd been around MySpace, Facebook, all those things, but it didn't really take off. 2015, 2016, kind of around that time.
Yeah.
But even then, it wasn't like something that was, people weren't figuring out how to market themselves on social media. And now that they're getting a lot bigger, they're building up a lot bigger stage because of the UFC fights or because of their platform, as well as, learning how to market themselves. Because UFC used to do that summit. And now they still have something like small little gatherings where they tell these top fighters and they get them to learn how to market themselves on their own social media, because the bigger the fighter's name is, the bigger that they can help bring in more ticket sales. Sure. So Nate came at a time, sure he came, he was younger as well, but he came towards this end of this time, right around that Conor McGregor hit. That was perfect for him, man. He made so much money because of the Conor McGregor fights, because of the Masvidal fight, because of all the other fights that he's ever had that's been action-packed. He's a barn burner of a fight. He's someone that always fucking lays it on the line. His brother just came before his time. Like, you got to think about the guys that Frank. He came. Nick fought Robbie Lawler when Robbie was on the on the way up.
Oh yeah,
Fought him. Beat Frank Shamrock. I know Frank Shamrock was on his way out, but he beat Frank Shamrock.
Yep.
I mean, he's had big time fights. Paul Daly's fight with him was the best 1-round fight I've ever seen in the history of my life. You know, and then you can say what you want about the Anderson Silva fight, but Nick is not a 185 pounder. He should be a 70 pounder. For him to fight someone who's considered to be the GOAT, you know, to several people, he came in and fought that fight. Just these guys, I got nothing but respect for them. I can't sit here and talk about them enough. John, I could spend a whole another hour talking about these two guys and the things that they've done. I mean, from when Nick fought Jeremy Jackson to Hermes, you know, beating Nate, the history of all that, and then they coming out and them being just huge stars after that and building their reputations. Nate fought in Strikeforce. Nick fought in Strikeforce. Nate went to the...
Nick was the champion in Strikeforce.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Welterweight champion.
You know, I mean, like, they knew what to do and how to market themselves. Did a great job, man.
Yep.
Chimaev has got all the tools and the size and the strength and the wrestling, all those things to beat Nate. But the old dog in me, man, really wants fucking Nate to win this fight. Really wants. I've seen too many times where the UFC does this. And look, I understand when they're fighters that, you know, you're thinking about leaving. They're kind of like, you know, ranked number 4, ranked number 5, but they're not really big needle movers. They want to get them beat so they go away and never be talked about again. That kind of thing. I get it. This is someone who has made you a lot of money. I would have liked to have seen a proper send off. You know, give him the third Conor fight. Give him somebody that would have been a great fight.
See, that's the fight that I thought actually makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
The third Conor fight does make sense. You know,
well, did you see he also said the Conor fight will happen at some point?
Oh, maybe in boxing. That might be. Hey,
don't know.
You know, well, here's the thing. Now, just because he's creating his own promotion, that doesn't mean he's gonna throw promotions. That means that he's just gonna basically have that promotion get paid every time he fights. So he will co-promote if he fights somebody. So if he fights Conor McGregor, he will co-promote that fight for them to fight. Same thing with Jake Paul. If he fights Jake Paul, my promotion has to co-promote it or I'm not fighting. That's what Floyd Mayweather used to do, and that's how he made a ton of money.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a ton of money because he's the fucking greatest boxer ever, probably. But
no,
he made a ton of money. He was goddamn good.
Stop.
He was good.
He was good. He's great. He's not the greatest boxer ever.
I got you. Okay.
Not even close.
He's good, though. He's good.
He's good. He was good. I'm not saying he wasn't good. Here's the one thing that people don't. The one thing that people don't realize about Nate. Nate fought a lot of champions. You know, fought a lot of guys that were champions. He fought Benson Henderson. He fought RDA. He fought freaking Anthony Pettis, Connor. You know, look, he's fought a lot of champions, and he's been successful in a lot of those fights and stuff. So
this show's brought to you by MyBookie.ag. We got some big fights coming up this weekend. The main event, Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I cannot wait to see how this all breaks out on Saturday night in the UFC. Make sure you guys go to MyBookie.ag. Check out on their odds. They've got betting odds between round betting. They've got in-round betting. They've got all different types of ways to bet by finish, by knockout, by draw, by judges decision, whatever it is. You can make some money at MyBookie.ag by using our promo code WayneIn. They'll give you a little extra spending cash with your first initial deposit. And let me tell you guys, you only have to bet your winnings one time. After you win, you only got to bet it one time before you pull your money out at MyBookie.ag. Most of these online gambling sites make you bet it multiple times before they allow you to pull your money out. Not MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code WayneIn.
I don't know. I just look at it and I would like to think that, you know, it's going to be a competitive fight. It could be. It really depends on, in my estimation, fight IQ. Fight IQ is going to say a lot in this fight. And most of that fight IQ needs to come from a guy named Khamzat Chimaev. If he's got good fight IQ in this, I think he gets the job done. If he doesn't, it might be a different road.
Well, you know what, though, John? Let's go ahead and take a look at them odds. Scroll it up a little bit more for me, Dave, because I can't see it. There you go. So you've got Nate Diaz at plus 500, and you got Khamzat at minus 1,000.
Yep. See, again, first off, in my estimation, you're a fool if you put $1,000 down to win 100 on Khamzat, because I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying you could lose it.
Yeah.
And losing the 1,000 or whatever you decide to put down is going to make you feel like a real dumbass when you go, I bet a guy $1,000 to win 100 against Nate Diaz, when I could have just put 100 down to win 500 on Nate. Okay. Now, if you're a Khamzat, fan, hey, I understand you wanting to bet on your guy, but I'd rather put $20 down to win, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd win 100. I'd win 100.
The plus 500. Look, I'm always going to probably bet on the dog because, the opportunity is there. If I put 20, 50.
Yeah.
For me, I'd probably put about $100 down on Nate. Give it a try. Give it a go. Because I think what you've said is absolutely true. Nate Diaz has that deep experience in 5-round fights.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like to push himself in rounds 4 and 5. He knows what it's like to dig deep. He knows what it's like to get up off the canvas and continue to fight and fucking lay an ass whooping on somebody. That's Nate Diaz. And so
the whole thing is this. It really comes down to this. Look, Nate Diaz's last fight was against who?
the champ now.
Yeah. Leon Edwards. Now, Leon was putting it on Nate. Let's be honest. For 4 rounds, he was putting it on him. But in the 5th round, Nate made it to where you thought, Nate could possibly win this thing. Same as Leon. He won the 1st round. He lost the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round to Usman, and everyone counted him out. Don't count a good fighter out. They can pull it out. They can pull it out of their ass, and they can definitely win. All it takes, and that's the whole part. It's our sport. There's so many ways to lose. So many ways, Josh. You know it. All you've got to do is make a mistake on one thing, get caught one step behind in one area, and man, you can lose that fight, a fight that you were winning every second of it. Take a look at when Sergio Pettis fought Horiguchi. He lost every second of that fight until he won it. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes our sport great. And so, I don't know.
I know. Go back and watch the Josh Thompson-Eve Edwards fight. I was whooping that dude's ass until the last second.
He had to go.
Fucking, hey, you got to be real with yourself, man. I was whooping his ass. Guess what?
I was whooping his ass till I was face down, ass up.
Fucking ninja kicked me and shit. Fucked me up. Gave me the fucking, what's his fucking name?
Brachial stud, man.
No, what's the name of Thug Jitsu? He gave me the fucking Thug Jitsu.
Thug Jitsu
your
ass, man.
He fucked me up. Son of a bitch. Him and I see each other at Bellator sometimes. And
he's such a good guy.
He's so fucking great. Yeah.
Oh, I'll give you a little story here real quick. I don't know if I ever told you, but my son, he's a professional judge and he judges all over. But back in the Strikeforce days, he was an amateur judge, and Strikeforce would actually do some of the amateur fights before they do the regular card, and it was actually a show that you were on, and it was back in 2010. It was the show that Fedor fought Fabricio Verdum.
Pat Healy. Pat Healy.
What's that?
I think I fought Pat Healy on that card.
Was that the Pat Healy one, or was that the second Gilbert fight?
Might have been the second Gilbert fight. I don't remember.
But anyways, I'm there at the arena early, and my son is there because he's going to work for Camo. He's doing the amateur fights, and my son never liked Nick Diaz. Didn't know Nate at the time. Didn't like me. He says, now he's disrespectful. I said, no, he's a great guy. I said, Nick likes real. If you're real with Nick, Nick is awesome. Great. I'm telling you, super guy. Sure enough, into the arena walks Nate and Nick, right? And Nick comes over to me and he says, "Hey, John, how's it going?" Right? And I say, "Hey, Nick, how you doing?" Right? And, and Nate goes off, and I think he was with Gilbert. And, I say, "Hey, Nick, this is my son, Ron. And Ron, this is, let me introduce you to Nick Diaz," right? And Nick Diaz stood there and talked to my son for 15 minutes. They're just, jawing back and forth until finally Nate comes back out and says, "Nick, man, what are you doing? We need you. I'll be right there," right? And he goes off, right? And my son turns to me and looks at me and goes, "He's the nicest guy."
He's fucking great, man.
He is. He's a great guy.
They're so good, man. They're such nice guys. Both of them, all of them, that whole crew. Okay, let's get into the next fight there, John.
Wow, this one I actually really like this fight, and I think it's. I'm not too sure about the length of time that Tony has had with his new camp and what's going on there. But other than that, I love the fight. I think it's a good opponent. I think that Jingliang Li is a tough individual. The guy's got no give up in him. Yes, he's been beat by people and stuff, but man, I'll tell you what, he is strong. He hits hard. He takes a big shot. He's a good grappler, not the best, but the guy is just, he came into the sport and was put into the UFC before he deserved to be there based upon they were trying to open up in China. And, they were trying to find him fights. Well, he became a good fighter. He's a tough dude. This guy can fight. And I think it's a great matchup with him and Tony. I think that, Tony can definitely get a win here, but he's gonna have to fight his ass off. He's gonna have to be the old Tony Ferguson, as far as he's gonna have to be a little bit, unconventional, do some crazy things at times, create situations, how he does, the Granby rolls and things like that, all the things that made Tony what he was, and the elbows inside. And if Tony can do those things, get into a grappling situation, I believe he's a much better grappler than Lee, and I think he can catch him in a Darce, he can catch him in an Anaconda, and if he does, he's going to have to put him to sleep because Lee will not tap, but I think this is a great matchup.
I'm torn on this fight as well. I'm not torn on the fight. I'm torn on Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
I feel very similar. I like Nate Diaz a lot. I feel very similar about Tony Ferguson. I think people think that I have like these animosity towards guys that I've fought or guys that I've lost.
That's because they think that if you fight someone, you don't like them.
That you don't like them. I fucking love Tony Ferguson. I love the way he fights. I was actually encouraged when they offered me the fight to fight. I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's like fucking gamer. This guy's tough as fuck. He likes to throw. These are the kind of guys that I wanted to fight. Guys that kind of motivated me a little bit. He wasn't as well known at the time. He was making a big name for himself at the, but he was like, he didn't have that presence just yet in the UFC. Him beating me helped him a little bit, and then him beating the next 3 guys or 4 guys after that, fucking, he just was a stud, an animal, just a fucking absolute killer. And he is somebody that he's so well versed in everything. The one thing that I'm torn about, John, is that he is a fighter that operates off of confidence, like every fighter does.
Sure.
But he was at one point was almost like couldn't be stopped. Like there was nothing you could do to him that would stop him. If you go back and watch, remember the Barboza fight and Kevin Lee, those guys were fucking him up.
Even the Lando Venata fight.
Yes, I was there, front row at Lando Venata fight. I think that was the fight after I fought him. He fucking got clipped, got rocked. Never was there a moment where he was like, I'm tapping, I'm getting out of this thing. He is fucking game. He doesn't know. I don't even know if he
doesn't have
understands
any
what
tap
that.
in him.
I don't think he has that tap. Like I agree with you. I don't think he has the thought of tapping. Doesn't think goes through his mind. Look at the Charles Oliveira armbar.
Oh.
It doesn't even go through his mind. It's like fuck it. Luckily, the clock was about to run out, or did run out.
No.
I'm torn because I like him a lot. I want him to win. I want to see him get back on the winning track. I would like to see him get this win. This is important. Now, I'm concerned a little bit about 170. I'm concerned a little bit that how much time has he really had at Greg Jackson's?
That doesn't bother me. The 170 I'm actually happy for.
So, okay, I'm happy that he went to 170. I wanted more time for him to get his body a little bit more full. I guess, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fill out a little bit more muscular-wise. I mean, look at Max Holloway when he came to 55. He's a big guy already. But this, you got to adjust. You got to make the adjustment with training with the bigger guys. You got to make the adjustment of, just doing all the extra activities with the bigger sparring partners, bigger grappling partners, bigger sparring partners, all those things make a difference on you preparing for somebody at that weight class. So I would like to have seen him be a little bit longer at Greg Jackson's so they could really implement their game plan and help him out. To kind of reshape him, get his confidence going. I love that I saw a couple video clips of him training with Aaron Pico. Him and Aaron were going over some techniques. It looked clean. It looked great. And I love seeing that he's picking the brain of someone who has the wrestling pedigree of Aaron Pico. And then I'm sure Aaron Pico was asking him, hey, how do I use them elbows, dog? Show me how to use them elbows. Do you sharpen them in the corner between rounds? What do you do? So, but you know what doesn't reflect, though, in this fight is the odds. I look at Tony Ferguson having better chance than plus 253. Is that 253? Yep, 253.
253.
Yeah, I feel like he has a better chance than plus 253 with Lee being a minus 333.
Yeah.
If I'm going to bet, I'm going to bet on Tony. I'm taking that.
Here.
I'll throw $100 down. I'll do everything for me is about $100. I'll do $100. Unless I truly believe in that fight, I'm like, I'll go. I may go 250 or 300, but it's pretty much always $100.
I'm actually in the position where I look at it and I think you got Tony Ferguson as the underdog at a plus 253. Come on.
Would you go 253 on him?
I would absolutely.
Yeah? Interesting.
Yep.
Man, interesting. Maybe. I see. Look, Lee is good. He's good on the ground. He's not great any one spot.
Nope.
He will. I think the size will be a little bit of a factor in that first round. He's got some power in his hands. He's not the greatest of wrestlers. Not the greatest of jiu-jitsu guys. He will go to sleep. Tony can catch him in a darce. Tony can catch him in a guillotine. Tony can catch him in a triangle. Tony can catch him anywhere on the ground. I think in any time, any position. Tony's not a strong fighter, though. He's not a strong fighter.
Not a physically strong person, yeah.
Physically strong person.
Yeah.
But he's got really big hands, and he's got that wiry strength.
He's got long levers, man.
Yeah.
His arms are a lot longer than you think, and he can get those things laced up where you think, doesn't have the right angle. Yep, he does.
Yeah.
He'll get it. So.
Yep. I mean, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by the fact that he's at Greg Jackson's now. I'm encouraged by the fact that I've seen, the videos of him training with other fighters that he could pick the brains of and try to really implement a new little bit of a new style or little tweaks to his style that he has.
Yep.
So I'm really rooting for him. I hope he does get the win. I like to see him continue to fight, and but I don't want to see him continue to lose the way he lost, his last 2 or 3 fights.
No,
it just drives me nuts because I like the guy.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. All right, John.
Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez. This is actually a really good matchup. Rodriguez is very tough, very durable fighter. Really likes to fight in the stand-up. Doesn't like to fight much on the ground. Has some wrestling background to him, but I think Kevin Holland's just too much. I loved. We talked about it when it happened. I loved the move from 185 where I thought Kevin was giving away a lot to the 170. This is the perfect weight for Kevin Holland. And you're talking about, all the things you talk about being tall, long, and lanky. Look at those things help when it comes to certain advantages in the fight. And when you are as tall as Kevin is with the reach that he has and the ability, at least when he frickin' puts his mind to it, of shutting his mouth and just fighting. Dude, the guy can fight. He's got a very good jiu-jitsu game. He's good off of his back. It's not like he can't be on his back. He's got good sweeps. His stand-up is getting better all the time. The real question that it has always been is his wrestling is not the best. It's been improving because he's been working on it. And I think in this matchup, look at Daniel Rodriguez can hurt him on the feet. if he gets inside and he lands big shots, obviously he's got the power. He can hurt him. I don't think it's going to be an easy thing for him to do. And I really like Daniel Rodriguez. I think he's a fun fighter. He's the kind of guy that I always enjoyed watching because he just comes at you with, heart and grit. And, but I think Kevin Holland definitely has the advantage here in this fight.
Yeah, the speed on the feet with the hands, the long distance kicking. If it does hit the ground, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland as well.
Yep.
With his long levers, the triangle, the arm bars, all of those things. The way that, like, if you go back to the Jacare fight where he had that scissor guard and was able to reach up and still backhand him and hit him, those things cause problems.
Huh?
Being able to hit somebody in a position that you are not familiar with, not expecting to be hit.
That's right.
It changes the game. It changes the way that you fight.
And when someone has that kind of length that they can do that, it's unusual because most of the people that you have fought, most of the people that you train with, they don't have that length where they can touch you at that distance.
Yeah. Dave, let's go to weighing in on the odds on this one. Let's check it all out and see exactly where they're at. So you got Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez is plus 152?
Plus 162.
62. My eyes are so bad, man.
Plus 162, and Kevin Holland is a minus 200, which, see, I look at those odds, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That falls right into where I would have said, yeah, that's about what it should be. But, in looking at it and looking at both fighters, I look at this one. I give Kevin Holland more ways of winning this fight. He's on a roll right now. His confidence is back up. I think I would put that 200 down to win 100.
Yeah, I might even go 400.
Yeah. Ooh, you're going to go 400.
I might even go 400 to win my 200.
Excuse me, Mr. Big
Mr. Money
Pockets.
Bags. Mr. Money Bags. Yeah, you know me. Big baller and stuff.
Big baller.
I'm probably one of the cheapest motherfuckers y'all will meet. Seriously. Oh, shit. I look at Kevin Holland having exactly more tools in the box, more ways of winning the fight.
Yep.
And I think he's really kind of gotten away from all the trash talking in the cage. He still does it, but it's a low moderation where it's not
as excessive as it used to be.
No, not like, hey,
I think he learned.
Watch me.
I think he learned.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of getting carried away. You had Khabib that started it kind of with the talking in the cage people, and then now everyone feels like they have to do it. Like Khamzat, it's like purposely doing it now, and it's all kind of. It's like they're still in somebody else's idea. It's like and I know people just do it to do it, but all right, what's the next fight?
Next fight is the ladies.
Irene Aldana versus Macy Jason. I'll tell you what, this is a close fight. Macy has proved to be very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Irene Aldana, obviously, man, she's been very good. I would have to say I think she's probably going to be the favorite in this, but I could see Macy winning this fight.
Think so?
Yeah, she's been tough lately. Take a look at, I think her confidence is up. She's been having tough fights, but coming away with didn't she have her last fight? I know she won, but I think the one before that, I think she had a loss. But then she had a couple of wins before that. Where's that at?
Raquel Pennington.
Yeah, she lost to Raquel Pennington. That was it.
Interesting.
Raquel, she did beat Norma Dumont, who was the one that people were looking at in the featherweight division, like, because she kept on, getting the win. She beat Spencer and everybody, but so I don't know. I look at this. This to me is a good fight, and then Raquel Pennington, as far as losing to her, that's not something that you can sit there and look and say, lost to someone. Raquel Pennington's the real deal. She's been
she's tough.
A stalwart in the bantamweight division for a long time, and she on the feet is good and has just consistently gotten better with her grappling, because it used to be her, her flaw. That was her downfall, and now it's not. So.
Yeah, I think Raquel and I are going to have to go a couple rounds, man. She took my girl.
Tisha.
She snatched her up, man.
Snatched her up, man.
Hey, good for them, man. I'm happy for them.
Yep. Both great ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's look at the betting odds on that. Let's go weighing in on the odds for that at mybookie.ag. Let's see. They come in at plus 143 for Macy and minus 175 for Aldana.
That makes sense if you're looking at it. That's about what I thought. I thought that Irene would be the person that was the favorite, but not by that much. Mm-hmm. It's I think the odds makers are looking at like both ladies here can win. It just depends on who comes out and is able to implement their game plan the best. This is one of those ones I would stay away from.
Thank you. It's not like a high risk, low reward kind of situation.
Yep. Let's stay away from it.
I'd pass on that as well. But you know what, though? Let's get into this next fight because this is the fight that I think is going to end up probably still in the show. Has the potential to still the show. You have Johnny Walker versus Cutelaba.
Oh.
John. I don't think it's a good fight for Johnny Walker.
Being honest, man, I really don't. There's one thing about Cutelaba that we've seen. First off, super aggressive. Comes after you in the fight. He comes after you before the fight. he always walks across. He's trying to intimidate. I never understood why a fighter tries to intimidate for the most part, because it's like you get to go punch him in the face here in a second. It's like, the intimidation.
It's the biggest
factor.
Waste of energy.
Thank you. I agree with you, but it's like, you want to intimidate me? Go ahead. Try to intimidate me. I don't know, but Cutelaba is physically strong, and he gets after you. Now the question here is, in looking at the fight, can Cutelaba touch that chin that obviously is not that good with Johnny Walker now? He's taken a lot of shots and he's been put out. Now the last time he got put out, look, that's in a fight with a guy that we've seen has power, but Cutelaba's got power, and so can Johnny keep himself at distance and at range because he's much longer, much taller, but Cutelaba just comes inside and he throws big haymakers and he's got a lot of power on his shots. So I look at this, the records are very close, everything is very similar. I go with the guy that is not been eating a ton of shots.
Oh, knock your mic, John.
What is up with that?
There you go.
My God. I go with the guy that, hasn't eaten a ton of big shots, and that would be Cutelaba. I think Cutelaba's got the advantage in this fight.
Dave, what's the odds on this fight?
All right, let's see. There we go.
Pull up that MyBookie page and let's take a look.
Pull it up.
There you go. You got Cutelaba at minus
208.
208. John, I've learned with MyBookie, they've got some weird odds.
I don't understand, though, the 208.
Yeah, there was one earlier.
How about 210?
333. Yeah. That's so weird.
Isn't it to do with the volume of booking and stuff like that?
Yeah, it does.
To do with it
has everything to do with the algorithm, how many people are betting.
Yeah. And then Johnny Walker at plus 180. Is that 155? 180?
What?
165.
166.
Jeez, man.
If there's one thing,
get some readers, John.
I would look at this and I would go, look, Cutelaba is the guy that I'm thinking, but if you're going to look at it, I don't think it's going to last that long. I think someone's going to get touched and someone's going to go out, and I might go to the under at 1.5 rounds. It's minus 142.
Huh. Interesting. I don't think it's going to go long either.
So
I think, but will it go around and a half?
I don't think so.
I think it might.
Okay. All right.
I think it might.
I would go for the under on this one.
Would you?
Yeah.
Cutelaba
goes after people fast.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker, if when he's done well, it's usually been fast.
That's true. Very true. Very true. All right. Well, then don't listen to me, man. Listen to Big John. Bet on the under. Got me agree with him. Is there any other fights on this card you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think the one, just before that, Dawodu versus, Juliana Rosa. Look, Juliana Rosa fights, and he's had some barn burner fights. He's had some fights where you look, man, and you go, dude, that was just balls to the wall the entire time. And I think that's what's going to happen here with Hakeem who comes from Canada. He's a good fighter. He likes to exchange on the feet. Arosa likes to exchange on the feet. I think it's going to be a really good fight.
Dowdu is fun to watch, man. I enjoy watching him fight, and then Arosa, very, very similar. So I think this is going to be one of those fights that could potentially steal the card as well. So look for a great fight on this one.
The other one that's good, Jake Collier against Chris Barnett. I love Chris Barnett, and I like Jake Collier. Look at Jake Collier's last fight was against Andrei Arlovsky. And it was a fight that a lot of people didn't think he lost. He lost it on a decision, but a lot of people thought, no, I'm not too sure he lost that. The guy used to fight at middleweight. He fights at heavyweight now. Him and Chris Barnett, I think that's going to be a really fun. I love watching Chris Barnett. He's fun to watch. He throws a lot of different techniques. He should not be fighting heavyweight with the frame that he has. That's the one that Dave needs to do on our 5-round main event, because you would never get any of those things right. How tall is he? He's like 5'8", man. He's short.
Clearly you would get it. So,
he's fun to watch and he's athletic. So I think that's going to be a fun fight.
I like Chris Barnett. I love watching him fight. So I'm going to tune in to make sure I watch that one as well.
Yeah.
Anything else on here?
No, that's about where I go off.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk for this weekend. What UFC is this?
279.
279. So go to mybookie.ag, pick up on any of our weighing on the odds, and take some of our advice, or don't take our advice, but use our promo code weighing in. Podcast Dave, what do you got for us news-wise?
All right, let's get into some news. Oh, sorry, actually, before we get to news, we do have a boxing fight this weekend. So we have Claressa Shields. Oops, I've lost it on my screen here. There we go. Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall in a 10-round fight. For Shields' WBC, IBF, and WBA middleweight titles. And then Marshall's WBO middleweight title.
And this is why Claressa Shields went to MMA.
Yeah.
Just being honest. You get women in boxing, very few get any kind of exposure at all. Claressa Shields has done it all as far as, Olympic champion, everything like that. 2-time. And then you just, her fights just don't, do anything in the pros. The only ones that really, Katie Taylor gets, she gets good press, and now Amanda Serrano, because of Jake Paul, she's gotten some good press and she can really fight, but they just don't get they get no love when it comes to it. So, but Claressa can definitely fight. She's a hell of a boxer. Well,
John, there was
the other thing
we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't.
I
did watch it though. Did you watch it?
I watched some of the highlights. I didn't watch it. I was in Tahoe. I couldn't get it.
Man,
I saw the knockdowns.
Lots of them.
Yeah, there was
from both.
It was a good fight. From what I saw, it looked like a really good fight.
Friend of mine, Tom Taylor, was a referee, and he's an outstanding boxing referee. Good guy. Really, really good boxing referee who will be around for a long time. But Andy Ruiz, tough as nails, man. I'll tell you what, he took some big shots in that, and he kept coming forward, and he put Ortiz down numerous times in that. What's that?
What round he put him down in the 8th? 10th?
Oh no, I want to say
he's a good boxer. People overlook him because
he's a slick boxer.
The way he looks, people overlook him. His record's like 40-3 or some shit.
Nah, I want to say probably 30.
Well, either 34, 37 or
34, 35 and 4, 34 and 4, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was 38-2 or 3 when he had fought Joshua the second time.
Oh man, I don't
pull up and
definitely
Andy
not.
Ruiz.
What's his 32 right now?
No.
Yeah. What's his record?
Knucklehead.
Yeah. I think he said his age.
His record.
Okay.
No, we
total
never said
fights
age.
37.
No, you said his age when he fought Anthony Joshua.
No, we weren't. No, we were talking about his record. He's 32 and something is what we said.
22. Sorry, he's 30. He's 35 and 2.
35 and 2.
No, he's lost more than that.
Well, I'm looking at his professional boxing record, John.
Really?
Right here on
No, he hasn't lost a
Wikipedia.
lot.
I thought he lost 4.
No, he
Well,
only
then
had 1 or 2 losses when he fought Joshua.
Well,
he had 1 loss when he lost.
1 to Joshua the first
Yeah.
time, and then 33-2
Okay,
when he lost.
so only 2. He's good.
He's good, man.
Yeah.
He's good. You can't let the body fool you. You can't,
Dude.
I mean,
Man. Well, then,
You
hold on. Look at Tyson Fury.
yeah.
Look
Cain
at him.
Velasquez. Cain Velasquez.
Well, this is, and Andy Ruiz is a little bit chunkier than Kane.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy can box.
Yeah.
He
can box.
actually
He's good.
moves really well. He's slick.
Damn.
Takes a big shot because look at that.
Oh,
Sat
yeah.
Ortiz down with that. That was so clean. That right hand over the top.
Jeez, man.
It's a bad dude.
What I like is he's light on his feet. He slips well, counters well, fights you in a phone booth really well. He just let that second fight slip away with Joshua, where he just didn't train. He even came out and said publicly,
Oh
he's
my
like,
God! He
"I
came
was
in
out
so
hanging
much
out.
heavier.
It's just, and he looked slow and lethargic in there. It was like, man, but that win over Joshua catapulted him into these type of fights where he's making good money now and he's
Yep.
dedicated to it all. So, I mean, I don't really know who would be next, but I'd like to see a third fight with Joshua. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight again. You know?
No, I would love
Anyway.
to see a rubber match.
Yeah, I'd like
With
to see that
Joshua.
one. Exactly.
That'd
All right,
be
you
a
know, what
good
about
one.
him and Usyk? Him and Usyk would be a good fight.
I think Usyk's a little too fast for him.
A little slicker in some ways. Southpaw, too. I wonder how you deal with the southpaw.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's get into this next story. So, Nate Diaz came out. He's obviously been doing a lot of media right now.
Is he bringing out that bed right there? Is that what he's doing?
Dude, I was going to say, man, that thing is slick.
That thing's awesome. Give me one of those.
I don't know
bad
what it
boys.
is.
He made some comments about John Jones's record, and he said, so I'll read off kind of the main quote that was the target at John Jones. With all due respect, if you do steroids, you're eliminated from the GOAT discussion. If they're doing that out loud, that's different. Like, hey, we're all shooting steroids, and then whoop everybody's ass because I'm willing to fight someone on steroids. I don't give a something. Like, let's all just talk about it. You do steroids, I'll smoke weed, then let's get in there and squab. I don't give a beep. Then he also said, but you're sneak steroiding, and then you're considered. You're out of the question. That whole legacy's gone and done with.
John, I'm not gonna lie, man. Once
You
again,
agree with him?
Another reason why I fucking love Nate Diaz. No one's fucking safe right now. He's like, I'm leaving the UFC. Fuck all you motherfuckers. He don't give a shit. I love it. I mean, he's just saying what everybody else is afraid to say sometimes, or other people they want to keep riding the UFC nut hugger, like, oh, John Jones and always. But look, I still put GSP at the top, and everyone else is a close second. But I don't have Anderson there because of the cheating. I don't have John Jones there because of the cheating. As much as I like Chris Cyborg there, I don't have her up there in the top because she's been caught cheating. There's certain fighters that, like, yeah, sure, they had great careers.
Okay, let me
They
ask you a question.
eliminated
Though. Stop, hold
themselves.
on. Let me just ask you a question here because you bring up Chris. And yes, she did get caught in California back in, I want to say 2010, 2009, something like that. And she got caught. So then she pays her penalty. She goes to the UFC. She's under USADA. And she's winning.
Sorry,
Doesn't
man.
matter now.
I don't think
Once
it
you get
does.
caught, it's all over.
Well, here, let me ask you this: how many fights did she have before she went to the UFC?
Not that many, actually. Before she went to the UFC, I would say she probably had
10?
no more than that. I would say 18, 19, 20.
Jesus, that's a lot, John.
Well, but she'd only been fighting for 4 or 5 years. When go all the way down because it's that fight right there. Stop.
17 fights.
Before the UFC, 17 fights.
17 before the UFC. Okay. And go to because she fought Gina. down. It's that fight. Nope. Marlowe, she fights. Go. Keep on going. It's against the Japanese girl. Yeah, right there. Yamanaka.
Yeah, but see. Wait. Oh, yeah. But
Now-
here's my thing.
Now, if you take a look at that was in the she knocked her out in 16 seconds in the first round.
I mean, John, there's just like there's just I look at some of the names on that roster, and like I said, I got nothing against her. I think she's a fantastic. I've done some grappling with her for a commercial that we did for Showtime a long time ago. She's freakishly strong. She's extremely talented. She's all those things. But you look at the people that she beat when she was potentially on stuff. Okay, Gina Carano, Marlos
Conan.
Yeah, like these are good fighters.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know Gina was not the best on the ground, but she had big power in her hands, and she was a gamer. You know, and then Marloes is just a legend in the sport. If you guys don't know who she is, man, she's fucking been one of the pioneers of this sport for females MMA.
Yep.
She's fucking absolutely just, and one of my favorite people
And a doll.
in the whole world. And absolutely
Just
one
a
of my
beautiful
favorite people.
human being.
Exactly. And so I look at all those, and if you scroll down some more, I'm back down a little bit further, you know, and she's fighting in Invicta, Elite XC, you know, who was that? Shayna Baszler. She fought Shayna Baszler. Who else is in here? Let's see. I'm still looking through the names. Vanessa Porto. That was a fucking long ass time ago.
That was her second fight.
Yeah, I know. But like these are names that there's name value in those, John.
Yeah.
And I mean, she loses by first round and then her first fight, submission. Sorry. Third round decision, she wins. And then a bunch of 1 rounds, and then 2 round, 3 round, 3 round, and then 1 round. Score mark down, past Gina. 3 round, 2 round, 1 round, 1 round, 1 round, 4 rounds. Like I just think it's hard for me to back it because, and I'm not talking about just her. I'm talking about the ones that have cheated and you've been busted. They always dabble in the line. They're always dabbling in the line. Like it's hard for them to get away from it. They got a taste of the victory. They got a taste of the success. They got a taste of all the things that come along with it. Look at Vitor Belfort. He was one of my favorite fighters when I first started watching him fight. The very first fight I ever watched him fight was against Vanderlei Silva. I just fucking was like, "Ooh, this is the guy." I was so mesmerized by him. And then I saw him fight at heavyweight. I'm like, how the fuck did that guy get so big? Well, you know why he got that big. You know, and look, he's been dabbling in that shit his whole life now. And so I believe that when these guys, they get into it and they start having success, get women and men, that they never really kind of fully get off of it. Maybe they're sure USADA and testing but John, I've said this, we talked about this about 3 weeks ago. I think that there's ways for them to get around the USADA program. Okay, the growth hormone late at night. Do it after midnight. They're not obviously no more testing you on fight day or the day before fighting or whatever it is, you know, or a week of the fight at 6 a.m. waking you up. So now you have even longer to get it out of your system or to have it run through your body and not be testable. Those are all things that play a factor when you're cheating. Like their fighters get around these things. They find ways. They talk to doctors. They talk to other athletes that have been doing it. They talk to cyclists. They talk like we didn't know for the longest time. What's his name? TJ Dillashaw. What's Cody Garbrandt had said that he had been on EPO for the longest time. And he's like, no one ever said no. And then he got busted for EPO because USADA wasn't really testing for that.
For a long time you couldn't test for EPO.
See, I don't know. I didn't know that you couldn't test for it. But simply put, how many of those fighters were doing the EPO before that no one ever knew about? So there's just, I look at it like they find ways to skirt around whatever they think they can't be caught for.
Let's take a look at this though. Okay. And first off, you're never going to satisfy everyone when it comes to the drug issue. You're just not going to. All right. There's going to be people that are going to sit there and say, let everyone do it. You know what? You want to do it? Everyone can do it. And, let the chips fall where they may. Okay. There's the people saying, nope, no one can do it. You got to test everyone. And, and it's like the whole thing with testing is I watch fighters, and I'm not going to say a specific name, but I'll watch a fighter say, I I've never been tested while I've, been, fighting for, this promotion or that promotion, when I know they have. I know they got tested. I talked to the commissioner that tested them. Okay? But they want to put things off on somebody else, so they say, well, I'm not getting tested, so obviously they're not getting tested. When, look, the USADA program is paid for by the UFC. It costs them a ton of money. You're talking over $6 million a year for that program. Obviously, the UFC can pay for that. They're making good money, but that's not something that is just an easy tab for any promotion to do. And most smaller promotions, they're not even close to being able to do something like that. I look at it, you can look at it in all the different sports. Baseball was a big one, and you've got people that aren't in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Roger Clemens is not in the Hall of Fame. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, all the guys that actually helped bring baseball back at a certain point because they were bashing the ball out of the park or, look.
This shit's dead now. Baseball is gone.
But you look and you go, I don't think I don't give a shit about USADA. I don't give a shit about VADA, all of them. They can't test for everything because they're always a step behind. And so people are going to be cheating.
Yeah. Well, do you remember Maria Sharapova, the tennis player?
Yeah.
And remember when all the Russians got caught?
Yeah.
There was discussions that they were taking meladonium, I think is what it was called. And it was something that they were getting over the counter. I think it's called meladonium. Dave, can you pull that up? Anyways,
meladonium? Sounds like melatonin.
No, I know, but I think it was called meladonium, I think is what it was called. It was what Maria Sharapova got busted for. But a lot of Russian athletes got busted for it. But it was something they were using over the counter. It was something that they've been taking since they were kids. It was almost like a morning vitamin that they were able to take. And it helped with your muscle. Yeah, meladonium. There you go. What is meladonium? Why did Maria Sharapova take it? It's something that they had been taking. Russian athletes had been taking since they were kids. It's something you can buy at like the local grocery store and you get it over the counter and it's like a vitamin, like a morning vitamin that they would take.
Yeah.
It was supposed to help with your actual blood saturation levels, your muscle endurance, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. There's like you said, the USADA and all these other VADA and WADA and all of them, they're all fighting from behind.
Yeah.
And so they're always one step behind because these doctors are always coming up with some little new cocktail to put in there to help their athletes.
Well, it's not only doctors, Josh. It's guys like you. Okay.
Whoa.
No, I'm gonna Phil Baroni you here right now. No, but guys like you that went about trying to do everything right and took supplements and stuff. How many guys have you known that took supplements that all of a sudden popped and they said, whoa, wait a second. They give the supplement that they have to either the commission or USADA and say, hey, this is what I was taking. They get it tested. There's that, whatever it is that they pop for, it's in the supplement. They go to the general nutrition store, buy it, test that product, and it has the same thing. And you didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. And so it's one of those ones you can, and I'm not saying there are guys out there that are cheating. No doubt about it. But even guys that don't have been popped and you go, Jesus Christ. And it's they're taking something that, you know what? The manufacturer puts things in there because it helps sell, because it works.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, I agree with that. But that's not what this conversation was about. This conversation was about guys like Anderson Silva, John cheating. Jones, Chris Cyborg. Like that. The conversation was about those three that are just off the top of my head. I know there's a lot more. Okay, but those are the three that could be considered in the GOAT category. But for me, they're not. And I respect John Jones, in terms of his fighting ability. The worst part about with John Jones, he is so athletic that he didn't need it.
Yeah.
He didn't need it to be as good as he is. He could have done all these things without it, and he potentially could have been better. it just meant he could have been a better. I don't know, maybe, but Anderson, maybe he needed it. Maybe he needed something for strength. I don't know what it was. I don't know why he would do it. But he was almost extremely. He was like the John Jones 1.0, and then John Jones is the 2.0, maybe even the 3.0. But but then you got Cyborg. She just physically was built different. And I don't know if it was because of the steroids, but she is physically built different than almost every female, especially in the beginning phases of female fighting. She was built different than all the other females she ever fought. You look at Marloes Coenen, like she was not built like that.
No.
And you look at Gina Carano, she's not built like that. And I know that there's these athletes, especially the female athletes now, you see a lot that are built muscular and, and they put in their work and but the game has evolved so much that's how they're starting to develop their body. This was early in the phases of MMA and all of these things. I can't put her in there, man. As much as I like her as a person, the same thing with John Jones, same thing with Anderson. I like them as athletes and I like them as fighters. I can't. It's just not. They're not in my book, man. And right now, and everyone said, to me, it's GSP. It's going to be. GSP.
I would agree with you that GSP is and here's you look and you go, does he look like he took? Sure. But always tested clean, always good. And in no way am I suggesting that he did. I don't think he did. I think he had a work ethic that just made it to where, he looked that way and performed incredibly well based upon an incredible work ethic. He worked his ass off. But yeah, if you're going to sit there and say, if you're going to take and say anybody that was ever tested dirty, you take them off, George St. Pierre flies to the top of your list. Him or Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, I put DJ up there. I put DJ up there for sure. I put GSP ahead of him though, because the level of competition that he had to fight.
And multiple titles.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing too, the multiple title. I mean, DJ's got two now. He got the one. He's got the one FC one.
Yeah, I guess that's got to be a bantamweight one.
Yeah, there you go. I guess. But look, regardless.
It's going up a weight class.
Yeah, I have no like I said, you can like these fighters as athletes and as fighters. Yeah. But that's where I lay on this. That's where I lie on this talking situation.
Well, there's a lot of people that lie in the same place with you.
Yeah. All right, next.
All right. Anderson Silva, let's get your reaction to his comments. He's saying that
Speaking of the devil.
Speaking of the devil.
This will be the biggest combat event of the year and will truly make history in the sport forever. See you October 29th. What do you guys think about that?
He's doing his job. He's promoting the fight.
He's promoting the fight. That's a lot better than what some of the other people that were going to the box Jake Paul were doing for him. So at least, he's doing what he's supposed to do. And this is going to be the greatest event ever. Great. Do I think it is? No. But I'm going to watch.
I'm going to watch.
Yeah. I know you just say, don't even try to say you're not going to watch.
I might go to it. I might go watch it in person, and it's in Arizona.
Yep.
So I may go watch that. Is it on Showtime?
Yep.
No.
I
it
think
is?
So. I believe so.
Because I think they have the deal with
Paul.
With Paul, yeah. I think that it's not going to be the biggest combat sports or fight or whatever of this year. No. I don't. It's not going to break 1 million views. I think it's going to be no, John.
Yeah.
Nope.
No?
It won't even do 400.
Wow. I think it does 500.
No, I think it does.
Anderson Silva, a lot of people want to see that fight because of him.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree with you. I do. And I think because this is going to be Jake's toughest task, and here's another issue I have with this fight, is that Anderson is considered to be one of the best in our sport. And here he is fighting now. He's been known to be a striker and a stand-up guy. He's got good boxing. He's got good kicks, all of those things. He's fighting a 24, 20. Yeah, but he's not a boxer. He's fighting a 26-year-old. Fast, powerful, and Anderson's chin is not the same. It's going to make the sport look bad if he beats him. I'm being honest. Everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, he knocked out Anderson Silva. Yep. And Dana called for this fight. Remember that? What, a year ago?
Yep.
Like, oh, you know what? You want to fight somebody? You want to fight someone? Look at Anderson Silva. He's out there fighting. Go ahead and take that fight. I don't see you calling him out. Well, yeah. Now if he gets knocked out, and I can just
look
see it.
at you, negative Nancy.
Oh, you know, I'm sticking up for my boy Jake Paul. I'm sticking up for my boy Jake Paul.
You're sticking up for your boy Jake Paul.
You know how I am. Wow, man. You know, I'd bet on him, but I don't bet on my friends. If you guys haven't figured it out, man, I'm trolling right now. I get nervous. I get concerned because, don't get me wrong, the sport of MMA is not going anywhere. It's going to continue to build. It's going to continue to do what it's doing. But I hate to see when you have a fighter who's 26 fighting a guy who's 48.
Yep.
47, 48.
Oh, he's 48.
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's a limit for so long. Look, Bernard Hopkins fought to what, 50, 51?
Yep.
Ortiz is what, 42? The one that just fought Andy Ruiz?
Yep.
You've got, who else? Randy Couture fought till he was 47. Dan Henderson till he was 46 or something like that. That time is that around this time. That 47, 48, you're really pushing the barrier.
Oh, you are.
You're really pushing
no
it.
doubt about it.
Now you're fighting a guy who's obviously got power, like we did with T. Wood. He's got power. He's got speed. I don't know how he's going to handle the pressure because Anderson's going to come out with some big stuff. And Anderson's got to take this fight very serious. Cannot afford to lose to this guy. With your credentials.
There's a big difference. You know this. Mm-hmm. If I come to fight you and I don't throw, I'm making life easy on you. Okay? But when someone comes to fight you and they're throwing shots at you and continuously throwing shots at you, totally different game.
Yeah.
Totally different. And there's a huge difference in size from all of the people that Jake Paul has fought.
Yeah.
All of them were 5'8", maybe 5'9", a 72 to a 73-inch reach. You know, nothing that big. Stand by. He's finally fighting someone that is his size. Anderson Silva walks around at 210 pounds.
You know, they agreed at 187. They agreed to the weight class at 187.
That's fine. And Anderson's made 185 his whole life.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's no big deal. He'll walk into that ring that night at 210 pounds. Okay? Somewhere around there. 206 to 210 pounds. You watch.
Well,
someone that is Jake Paul's size, if not bigger.
Did they cap it? You can't come in more than 199.
You can't cap it. He's going to make the weight that you said.
Oh,
there's
no.
Whoa. Oh. What is the reason for capping the fight? It's not like Anderson Silva was a heavyweight. Like he was trying to say that Rahman was a heavyweight.
Oh, what's his
name?
And
that he was a cruiserweight.
Mayweather used to cap people's fights where you couldn't come in more than a certain weight class. You had to keep when he fought. I think when he fought De La Hoya couldn't come in higher than 154, I think, or something, because he fought at 47. Yeah, he couldn't come in higher than 154 or 156. I believe it was. I mean, Dave, you can look that up. Let's go, buddy. Carry your weight.
I'm pulling it up. My screen's paused right now because I was doing something. I was checking
because he was jerking off in the corner. He was like Mug. He was like trying to jerk off with a little tiny box, the little porn box in the corner. Love it. He's like, you're so stupid. Oh, yeah. I believe it was the De La Hoya fight. There was another fighter as well.
Sure.
Was it not Margarito? Did he fight Margarito?
Who?
Mayweather.
No.
I'm trying to think who he fought.
Pacquiao
He fought someone. Yeah, but there was someone that he fought outside of De La Hoya. I think also too. He had another weight limit where they couldn't be more than a certain weight class.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm not talking about Connor and De La Hoya.
Well,
Or,
I'm reading
Mayweather.
the headline. It just says that there is a limit here. So
Yeah.
White said the fight would be at 154. Telling Fox it's going to be 12 rounds.
There was nothing in the Conor McGregor fight where Conor couldn't weigh whatever it was over 154 once he weighed in.
I just read it. I see weight limit.
Yeah, weight limit 154.
Okay.
No, I
and
hit
glove
it.
size,
Yeah.
because there was a whole thing over, were they going to use 10-ounce or 8-ounce gloves?
Yeah, because the threshold on that is 147 is 8 ounce, 154 is 10 ounce.
That's right.
So they were trying to decide which gloves they were going to be.
And they went with the 8-ounce.
I don't
think so.
I just want. I'm here. You can structure a deal any way you want when it comes to boxing. Yeah.
Yes, you can always try to structure the deal. And that's exactly what they did with Rahman Jr. There was, you can only weigh so much more. But that's because he was a heavyweight. Silva doesn't weigh more than Paul walking around. So he's got nowhere to go with that.
Jake is the smaller the Paul. So
Yeah.
Jake is probably walking around about 195.
No way.
200. Yeah.
He's fighting at 190 all the time. So he's not walking around at 195.
Oh, John. I think he is.
not.
I think his brother's bigger. His brother weighs probably about
His brother weighs about
215.
220.
Jesus. Fucking mountain of a man. Mountain of a man. Dave's taking forever, man.
I mean,
He can't
this is why
find
we get
anything.
headlines like crazy.
He can't find anything because it's not there.
Jeez, it's there.
It's not
Somewhere.
there.
I'm going to research it.
You
You know what I'm going to do?
Find it.
Where did the Mayweather fight take place? Vegas?
Yes.
It did. The Mayweather and De La Hoya fight was
All
Vegas?
of them. All of them.
Yeah, because Mayweather's always in Vegas.
Hello.
here's- From this article here, extra weight will cost Mayweather. The article says Mayweather weighed 4 pounds more than Marquez and 2 pounds more than the fight's 144-pound catch weight limit. The fighter's contract contained an overweight penalty clause that likely
That's
moved
overweight.
to 6.
Yeah, that's overweight. So he didn't make the actual official weight they agreed upon. So that's going to cost him.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about after you've made weight, that you're not allowed
Can't
to
gain.
exceed a certain amount of weight the next day by the time it comes fight time.
There was something about a rehydration clause, but the article didn't give me enough.
Yeah, some of the rehydration clause is that you can't use IVs, and they can test for that. You can't take certain supplements to like water pills or not water pills, but other supplements to help you hydrate better. There's certain things that they can test you for to make sure that you don't use those things. That's it. On the terms of the hydration. All right, well, hey, that's going to kind of wrap up our show, I believe. Go to WeighingInPodcast.com, pick up some of our merch. We got the 10-8 round, 10-9 round shirt that's available where I'm giving out 10-8 rounds to Big John every single show. I delivered today, buddy. I came up in the clinch. I fucking was killing it today.
Where did you deliver?
We did great.
Where did you deliver?
I did the whole show.
Oh,
Everything we talked about, I delivered.
Is that what it was? So okay, I'll call you the mailman from now on.
Yes, that should have been my nickname. That should have been my. I got stuck with the shittiest nickname ever, man. I should have shook that shit off.
You got stuck with the most appropriate nickname of anybody.
This is nonsense around here. It's nonsense.
I love you.
Jesus, I can't believe it. I'm almost 50. I'm still being called a punk. Oh, it's
That's
so
awesome.
crazy. John, did you get your box of battle bars?
I did get my box of battle bars.
How were they?
Damn things. Battle bars are outstanding. I'm telling you right now. First off, they've got a ton of different flavors, and it's not just this little thin damn bar. It's thick. I love that about it. But they've got strawberry cookies and cream s'mores, which is fantastic. The chocolate is good. They've got blueberry, strawberry, dude.
Birthday cake is a good one.
I haven't had birthday cake yet.
Birthday cake is good.
I'm pissed. I don't even know if I got a birthday cake.
Oh, you better check in your box, buddy.
I gotta
Because the
check in
birthday
my
cake
box.
and the chocolate were both fantastic.
Yeah.
I had two of them right
They
before
are
we
really
filmed
good.
because yes. They're available at some of the UFC like gyms and stuff. They're available, in a bunch of other locations as well. A lot of the what are they called? GNCs, like the
GNCs
nutrition-
and health food stores.
health food stores and stuff. Yeah, but they're fantastic, man. So Check them out if you guys haven't. All right. Anything else? Dave?
Not
Nothing?
for me.
Not from you?
Put
I'm so
that
glad you
cowboy
got
hat
your-
back on your head there, Dave. Make sure it's on there tight because we're going to get this thing going. We're out of here. Everyone out there, we hope you had fun. We did a little bit of arguing today. Josh delivered because he's the mailman.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a great couple of days here. Get ready for UFC 279 and Nate Diaz shocking the world. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to predict
Let's
anything.
go.
But
Let's go.
let's go, Nate. And for everyone
Let's
out
go.
there, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you.